Speaking of space, there was a rumor going around yesterday.
Are we going?
Yeah, we might as well go. You want to go to space? Let's go to space. Rumor that was going around. This is BuzzFeed. Sometimes they get stuff right, and sometimes it's not true. So there's a big rumor going around that who's the woman who wrote Alita Battle Angel, right?
She's an executive producer on Avatar, I want to say. Let me pull it up real quick.
I thought she was. Well, that would make sense. Alita Battle Angel also is James Cameron produced. So
Did you like it?
I did like Alita Battle Angel. I thought there was some problems with the script, but I thought that it was. I enjoyed that movie a lot more than I thought I would. There was some like the love angle I thought was forced, but I thought the girl was phenomenal, and I wanted to see another one. I do want to see another one. I thought it was underrated for sure. I dug that movie, but. The rumor is that this woman, we're going to get her name in a second here.
Yes, it is. It's hard to pronounce. Leda Kalogridis.
Sounds Greek.
Yeah.
Kalogridis.
Executive produced Avatar, has been tapped to write a new Star Wars movie based on
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic.
This is interesting.
The first movie in a planned trilogy.
Right. Now this is
she's the first
First
chick
female-
to write since Lee Brackett.
Exactly.
since Empire, yeah.
Yeah, Lee Brackett was the last chick to write a
Star
Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's so dumb. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is this thing. Well, you got to remember though too. There's
that's why Empire is so good.
But all the
with the romance stuff.
all the prequels were written by George. So there's
That's true.
there's only been what three movies since Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and Rogue One. And Solo, so 4 before. So now this is the 5th movie, really. So one, if this is, or excuse me, 6 movies because
Maybe
Rise
that's
of
why the
Skywalker.
romance been so bad.
Possibly, maybe. But anyway, the point is, if this is true, now there's so many questions. The first question is, if it's a trilogy, right? Is this the Benioff and Weiss stuff? Because I always was under the assumption that Benioff and Weiss were not going to be doing Knights of the Old Republic. They were going to be doing something completely different, like more of a restarting of the Jedi Order or starting of the Jedi Order, all these things, like not an adaptation of Knights of the Republic. I didn't ever think that was in play at all.
Right.
So so that's question one: is that what they're doing? Is she writing for them? That's question one. Question two is if not, and this is a trilogy. So when the hell is this supposed to come out? Because if we know Benioff and Weiss movies are coming out in 2022, 2024, and 2026. That would mean that this one's coming out in 2028. Why you don't hire someone to write a trilogy now? And
she was hired in spring of 2018 and is almost done.
That's what I'm saying
with the script.
So you would have to think that maybe this is the Benioff and Weiss stuff. If Benioff and Weiss are doing a Knights of the Old Republic adaptation, I mean, sign me up.
That's incredible.
Because Ryan's not doing the movies anymore.
Who?
Ryan Johnson.
Well, they said they're planning it with Benioff and Weiss.
You know, Ryan Johnson was supposed to be doing something completely different in another time frame altogether. So, and then there was conversations that he was collaborating with them, or maybe they combined all of it. Excuse me, gonna sneeze.
How dare you?
Thank you.
May the force be with you.
Thank you so
Salud.
much. Appreciate it.
That's Vedadad.
But there's so many questions because if let's go into the scenario that it is the Knights of the Republic. This excites me because of the fact that they're going to go. They have to stick to because you don't assume that everyone has seen the story, has played the game or seen the story or know the
Oh
story.
yeah, no, you got to go with like just pretending you have movie fans and that's it.
That's right. But meaning treat it the same way you would treat like a novel, like Harry Potter, right? Use the story points that made the game so spectacular, and there's a big kind of twist overall. Go with it and play with it, and hope very similar like the Red Wedding that your hardcore fans don't ruin it for people, right? And go with it and play because 3 movies you can do so much. I mean, Darth Malak would be an incredible villain.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible villain. The story of Revan and Malak, and then Bastila and it's the HK-41. I mean, there's so many great characters inside of this thing that you can do some really cool shit.
What would you say should be the focus of the trilogy if it's since they're doing Knights of the Republic? Like, should it be more like Force mythology stuff? Should it be more politics oriented? Like, what would you say? What would you rather them focus on?
The Jedi stuff because of what's going because the Sith army is in full effect during this time. And they are overtaking. They have incredible weaponry right now. They are trying to overtake the galaxy, and it's this new character and Bastila, who are the main character, who are trying to figure out kind of how to get involved and to help. And you learn more and more about these characters, and the main character turns out to he or she is a Jedi, or gets Force powers and starts to learn more. And do you know the story well?
I don't know it too well because I haven't played in years, but I like hearing this.
There's different planets they go to. They get involved with bounty hunters. There's so much like lore and mythology. You could get 6 movies out of this thing
easily.
So 3 movies, if it is the case. Like I said, I would be completely okay if Benioff and Weiss didn't do anything that we ever knew in Knights of the Republic, Bane, and just created something years and years and years before. Any of that would be great. But if you tell me they're going to do a Knights of the Republic adaptation, sign me up. I cannot wait. People will, the hardcore fan base will lose their mind. And what I think that would do is that the fans, because it's easy, it's my favorite, not only my favorite Star Wars video game, it's my favorite video game of all time.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
hands
cool.
down. And what you would get is that pocket of fans, very similar to like those book readers of Game of Thrones, that are going to be like, here's why this is so cool. And then you start, and it'll probably see a resurgence of the game too.
And when was the game released?
2003.
2003.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember I played it in 2004,
Right.
and I took a week off of work to play the damn thing. That was my
Nerd.
vacation time. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's true.
No, I
And then
get
I
it.
came to it like around the same time you were starting to
Yeah.
play. You were like, you got to play this. You got to play
Yeah.
this. And then I probably listened to you 6 months later and started playing.
No, I
Yeah.
get it when you get obsessed with a video game because I did that. I forget. Oh, it was Mario Galaxy 2, and I played it for 2 days straight and finished it. And Brendan would come home and be like, "You're still there. Have you
Still there?
showered?"
No,
and I'm
it's-
like, "No,
no.
but look at what level I'm at.
Exactly. Well, that's
I've accomplished so much."
because the story is so good, and I say it and I stand by it. Knights of the Republic is my second favorite Star Wars story out of all of them. It's Empire first, and then Knights of the Republic second. So
That's awesome.
And if they can,
That gets me excited.
yeah, if they can adapt, if they did adapt it, then you do. Then I would also do a stand up and applaud type thing because finally they take something from their accomplished storytelling from another medium, whether it's the game or the books, and they use it and adapt it. Because I keep using the reference of J.K. Rowling for Harry Potter. Those movies were so successful, and Game of Thrones. They were so successful because they adapted from this source material that everyone loved, and they changed some things up here, but they stayed true to a lot of it in Harry Potter, right? And they got great material out of it. Fantastic Beasts hasn't been that because it's just scripts,
Right.
If you have these novels, you have so much. You have so much material, and they've never adapted one single novel or one single video game
Which
ever.
is weird, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because they think like, oh, it's just a separate audience. It's not. The reason why the hardcore fans have responded to it is because there's such great stories. And I think if you take a Claudia Gray novel adapted,
Yeah, I
Carpathian,
mean, similar
Lucino-
to the shorter or one-off stories of like comic books. Like I guess there was this rumor. I don't know if it's true that the new Batman might be related to The Long Halloween, right? Which is one of my favorite comic books, like
Really?
Batman
Where'd you
comic
hear
books.
that?
I read it somewhere. I don't know if
Okay.
it's true or not, but
Yeah.
it would be cool if it was something like that. Because you guys were talking about like all the villains they would have, right?
Right.
And they have
Yeah.
Kite
basic-
Man.
Condiment King.
Condiment King. Yeah, your favorite, right?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah. So I feel like when you can expand on a story like that, where you kind of just get the bullet points of it, you
Right.
know, and actually like come up with something bigger for the screen. Because that's my favorite thing when somebody adapts a book and makes it different for the screen. I don't want the same exact thing that's in a book or a video game, right?
Yeah, I
Like
will.
Jurassic
right.
Park is, I think,
Exactly.
a great
Yeah.
example. The book's fantastic, but they did it right.
They
for
move
the
some,
Exactly.
they move some stuff around. Like again, the Harry Potter stuff. You have to because with Harry Potter, it's such a long. Each book is so long. You can't. Shit. The last book they had to split into 2 movies.
Right.
So there are ways to do it. I want to keep a lot of the same beats, and like I said, I would be okay with knowing what happens at the end and saying, oh, here it comes. The same way that you knew the Red Wedding was coming,
Yeah.
but it was executed. No pun intended. The right way.
Or that Dumbledore was dying or whatever.
Right.
Spoilers.
All of that stuff, like even the stuff that happened with Snape, you know it's
Yeah.
coming, but how does it translate on screen? How are they going to make it happen? How does that you saw that moment inside your head? Does it translate? And sometimes it
Does
doesn't.
it still make you emotional, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of what I'm hoping because that's the best word for it because I can't tell you if I've ever had an experience like that playing a game besides Knights of the Republic to where I was the same way I felt.
Did you cry?
Not cry, but I definitely was emotional through it because the music is fantastic throughout the entire thing. You're attached to all of the characters. The villains are scary. They have a purpose. There's twists and plots and plot points that are. It's dense, and so it would be interesting. And the only thing that makes me say I wonder if this is true because when Josh Horowitz interviewed Kathleen Kennedy, he didn't just ask about the Old Republic in general to Kathleen Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
He asked specifically about the Knights of the Old Republic, to which she responded, you know, we've been kind of talking about that, or whatever she said, like, and I always took it as, well, she doesn't mean Knights of the Republic, she just means Old Republic. But shit, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Knights of the Old Republic. If they announce Knights of the Old Republic movies coming out with Benioff and Weiss, I'm gonna lose my shit. I really am. I think it's a great.
I mean, and you because you loved Game of Thrones, all of it, right?
I mean, I did. But again, the other thing too that I think that even people if you didn't like the last season, you can't
I
deny.
didn't like the last couple of seasons.
Fine, but you can't deny that they didn't just bring these guys on producers as the last 2 or 3 seasons you like. They've been around since the beginning, even if they had the material that you love from George R. R. Martin.
But were they the main writers in the first few seasons?
Yeah, they were the producers.
I thought they got more involved in the later seasons as writers.
They were the showrunners
So they've
and
always
creators.
done
since
that.
day
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Now it's a lot harder. That it goes back to my initial point.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have what they were able to do. They took material that was already established and that people loved, and they brought it to screen, and everybody, yourself included, loved it for the first 4 seasons. Then when they had to go out
Except
on their
for,
own,
too many boobs and not enough man butts. But
all right. But then they went out on their own.
Fair.
And that's when they lost yourself and a lot of other people. My point exactly is if they have all the stuff from the Knights of the Republic, then you should be more excited about it because now they have this stuff that has already worked.
It's already finished as well.
Because nobody can deny. You can call them if you don't think the writing was good for the other parts of the season. You can't deny what they did with the writing of the first 4 seasons. Plus, the producing has always been on top. It always looks solid. It always looks good. The CGI, the acting.
Yeah, as much as I didn't like, I thought the writing was lazy the last season. Some of those shots visually were some of the best TV looking shots ever, and like it's crazy. There you could
In the
get
last
like
episode,
you could get
there
like
was-
5 posters from that last episode.